Welcome. So you want to go to space, Jacqueline?
Let's all go to the movies. We are jumping back in time to 1982. My goodness.
So I'm actually I need to go home. I need a phone call home. Phone home. but, but anyways, welcome guys. Welcome to the people watching. So it's me Ryan from the Buttery Show, and we have my good friend for our first Buttery Show podcast is Jacqueline Amira,
Hello,
aka
everybody.
Crystal Butterfly. So before we start, Jacqueline, should give a brief introduction to who you are to the new viewers here?
Absolutely, I can. My name is Jacqueline Amira. I joined MorphinNet in February of this year. I became part of the group, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I am a transformation model. What that means is I lost over 100 pounds, and I did it in a very short amount of time. I compete on runways regularly. I competed my second show in Orlando in April, and I brought a nice big old metal home that's as big as a clock that Flavor Flav wears around his neck, and probably just as heavy too.
Nice. So yeah, that's Jacqueline, everyone. Now again, I asked Jacqueline which film do you like to do for your first podcast for a Body Show, and she said AT. And okay, I was surprised. So why AT, Jacqueline? What? Actually, let me ask you this question: like, why did you choose ET, and what made you fall in love with this film?
E.T. is like a perfect, I think, hour and a half capture of what it's like to be a kid in the 80s, especially if you come from a household with only one parent, whether they're separated or divorced. That was highlighted in the movie, and I didn't catch it the first or second time around as a kid. I caught it now as an adult. The 80s was a time period where divorce rates were very high, and you also had a surgence of women and single parents entering the workforce. There's moments in the movie where they say that the dad went to Mexico. And when the police questioned the mom about where the kids are, that kind of spoke to me. Like, I went through some of that stuff myself as a kid. Who doesn't want to find an alien in their backyard? As a kid, that's like the ultimate imaginative rocket ship to another planet, to another world.
Exactly. So how I watched this film was I watched it in VHS. I was, I think, 7 years old when I watched this. I came in back then. I thought was kind of weird. It's like, what is this, right? Until like really an alien. So honestly, I thought it was gonna be like a. I thought it was actually gonna be a scary movie back then because remember Goonies, like in the 90s, right? I also used to Goonies and all this stuff.
Truffle,
shuffle. So I'm watching like, what is this? Keep in mind, I was kind of bored in the first half, but then once I watched it for a third time, I'm like, this story is really cool. And the fact, I actually almost kind of like related to Elliot because in this movie, Elliot's technically an outcast. Yeah, that's what I like about Elliot. Also the fact that it was directed by Steven Spielberg. Like, holy shit! Like this, this is good. Like this, this is the same guy who legit directed Jurassic Park, right? So so I was like, damn. Okay. And also what's cool about this film was technically one of the first blockbusters and was actually originally one of the highest grossing films of all time.
Yeah.
Until Jurassic Park broke it. That I know. It's also considered as one of the greatest films of all time. And it shows. I rewatched this film earlier today. Like actually 2 hours ago. After work. So, after work I'm like, okay. I'm like, oh shoot, this film is really, really good. It still holds up. The music, everything.
Does.
Like this, like the iconic shot behind us, like the moon with the Elliot holding 18, the bicycle. That's one of the most iconic shots in movie history now.
Oh, absolutely agreed. And the musical score, like you said, it captures the wonderment of a child.
Yeah.
throughout the movie. Like it's original. They didn't copy anything from anybody. I don't think really anybody did in that time.
Yeah, this what's
Now.
yeah, what's cool about this film is very original. It's very
Mm-hmm.
original. Like nothing like this has not been done before. Like this concept. Like it
Mm-hmm.
also themes of divorce, right?
Mm-hmm.
Divorce, like personal struggle, social anxiety, and yeah, it has everything. Even editing and the sound, even the visual effects. The fact it was legit, majority of them was practical, was a
Mm-hmm.
big deal. So yeah, plus it was space. Get it? People back then,
And it made the
space.
government the bad guy, and it did it really quick when
I
they show
know. Okay,
up at
so
the
here's the thing too.
house.
They called the government. This is actually one of the. It's funny. After this film came out, it literally called the government's the bad guys. And it basically
Mm-hmm.
started this trope where like every sci-fi movie, the government's involved. Oh, they're the bad guys.
No, they're the bad guys. That's it.
Like look at Stranger Things. Look at Stranger Things. It's the government. Oh, they're the bad guys. Oh,
Oh my god.
I'm like, what another film? I forgot another. Basically any other film that came after this that's involving sci-fi, like alien
Mm-hmm.
stuff. If it's a government, they're the bad guys, or there's something fishy about them. Like you can't trust the government, which is kind of true. But again, again, it's
It
another.
also kind of highlighted something else, not for nothing, but parents were clueless in the 80s on what their kids were up to. If they were
That's true.
outside, if they were playing, what they were getting into, as long as you're home by the time the street lights came on and you didn't come home in the back of a cop car, you're good. You're good in the 80s.
Exactly.
That's my partner. He just came home. He goes, that conversation sounds familiar. Yeah.
um, what else I like about this film was this film was kind of like Peter Pan.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like this film's kind of like Peter Pan, but in his perspective of maybe a lost boy. Don't you think? Like Alien's a lost boy.
You got
That
me thinking of Hook right now.
a fuck. Oh yeah, maybe that's why. But it's like no, like actually no. What I was saying, like, because I think it's ET. So in the film, it shows ET basically his aliens come to Earth to get the resources, right? But in a nice
Mm-hmm.
way. They don't. You just get the resources, but like ET is basically stuck at home, stuck in Earth because they forget him, and they find out
Mm-hmm.
he cannot survive on Earth because different atmosphere and stuff, like that environment.
Mm-hmm.
It's like ET's like there's like it's like Peter Pan. Like Peter Pan cannot survive out of Neverland.
Mm-hmm.
And now ET's like it's somewhat similar to I don't know. It's my it's like my little theory or my hypothesis or themes outside of the film. But anyway,
Well, I mean, in Hook, Robin Williams grew up after he left Neverland. And even
exactly.
after he went back, he didn't grow down. He just stayed a grown up. So once you're out, that's it. You're done.
It's funny too. Like after this film came out when I was in high school or college. I think it was high school or college. I forgot. Like I did some research on this film for
Mm-hmm.
from a class, and there's like people saying like, oh, this film is basically has a lot of religious motives. Like they saw ET was between like the parallels between ET and Jesus. Like basically when the military like got him and he died and then he was resurrected by love and fate. Like fate and
No.
love.
Mm-mm.
I don't know. Like that's what I heard. I think fate and love. I don't know. That's what I heard or read. Again, this people again. As legit, this film when it came out, even though it was great, it had a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people talking about it. Like
Yeah.
even these conspiracy people.
Well, they could do that with any movie, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I know. But again, like, well, the main thing is this film is legit a modern fairy tale. It's between
Mm-hmm.
two different people, like an alien and an outcast boy, becoming friends and like developing together, and growing this remarkable friendship.
They actually were
So
connected throughout
yeah,
the movie. When
dude,
E.T. got drunk, so did Elliot.
yep, and legit. No, can you say he actually put a virus inside of him? Like I'm connected to you now, boy. Like oh crap, you're a symbiote.
Oh my god, that was one of my favorite parts in the movie when Elliot gets drunk and ET freaks out at the TV. Be free, be free! He goes and frees the
Wait,
frogs.
what? Wait, what was one of the films they watched that was like? Because I think they did show some. One thing I think was one of them was like I think one of them was like with John Wayne.
Mm-hmm. Where he turned on the TV and he's home alone.
Yeah. And then I think one of them he read was I read a comic book. I don't know. I forgot, but I remember one of the films he watched was one with John Wayne kissing
Mm-hmm.
somebody. I forgot who it was. Yeah, again, I watched the film just 2 hours ago, but I forgot now. See, that's how I had to rush this film. I'm thinking, was it? Oh, it was no, I forgot. But I know John Wayne. It was a film with John Wayne. That's what I
And a
remember.
Tom and Jerry cartoon came on at one point too, and I think that freaked him out.
Yeah, people. So again, let's go back to a little what's the film about. This film basically was directed by Steven Spielberg, is written by Melissa Matson. It was produced by Kathleen Kennedy, one of the producers of Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Starred again Dee Williams, Henry Thomas, Peter Coyote, Robert McNaughton, and of course a young Drew Barrymore. Before she became an angel, she was Elliot's sister.
Mm-hmm. She didn't talk much in the movie.
I know, and now
I
look at
was
her.
trying to figure out her place in it. I mean, the scene where they both freak out and scream at one another, E.T. and young Drew Barrymore, was funny. But, like, she didn't find the alien. She wasn't trying to help the alien. She didn't ride the bike to bring him back. So, what was the point of having her here? I mean, she was cute, adorable as heck, don't get me wrong. And she was also there to highlight the fact that the father was gone and went to Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
I know what Mexico means. I'm 38. I was told that when I was 7.
So another thing about this film was it just showcased the speak and spell. Remember that? Did you have one when you were a kid? A speak and spell?
Mm-hmm.
I had one too. I don't know. Well, I had one. I don't know. I think it's in my garage. Like not like most people like take care of my toys. Just kidding. But yeah, I had a speak and spell. So one of the like again. So premise of the story is ET is a alien. It's like extraterrestrial according to government terms.
Mm-hmm.
Gets lost in Earth because him and his species they come to Earth. I think like I don't know, like once in a while to get like like resources for their. They don't explain why, but basically
Yeah.
they love plants, right? Like they're a peaceful alien species. He gets lost because I think what happened. I think it was a government that like interfered. What happened in the beginning again?
The
I just watched this
spaceship
movie so
took
long.
off without him.
I
And I
forgot this
think he
movie.
was hiding from the government. There were
Oh
flashlights in the park.
yeah. Okay, I remember. So U.S. governments they actually see them, and that's when they go. That's when they blast off. And yeah, he's stuck on Earth, and that's where he meets Elliot.
Yeah. And leaves the
That's
trail of Reese's Pieces.
Reese's Pieces. Reese's Pieces. Um, but let's see what else happens. Yeah, basically Elliot is a outcast kid,
Mm-hmm.
bullied, like normal '80s tropes, right? But in a good way. And he meets ET, names him ET, get extraterrestrial, and they make a good friendship and bond until the government finds out that he that the alien is still on Earth. So basically, they go to his house, they quarantine him. That I don't think that scene I watched was kind of scary. That
Yeah.
scene was scary. Well, that's the kid's like, oh shoot, what's going on? That's when that's when we meet. That's when we like realize, oh, the government's bad. They kill ET
You
and
see
they
them like
tortured.
showing up to the door. Where's the security system? Where's the alarm? They just show up, go through the windows, go through the door, and just commandeer the whole house in like a matter of minutes.
I mean, back then, I like you guys are mean, but going now, it's actually realistic because if there's an alien, you have to quarantine that. You never know what disease they have.
Mm-hmm.
So I suppose people are like government's bad. They're the bad guys. So technically, they are not really. Honestly, there was not really any bad guy in this film. I
Well,
noticed about it. Did you? Was there?
well, to be fair, when the kids are riding the bikes in the final attempt to get ET into the park, they had their guns out.
Oh yeah, you're right.
They didn't
Yeah,
shoot, but they could have.
they could
They
have.
were too busy in being in wonderment of the bikes taking off in the air.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I mean, yeah, probably right. But again, like it's weird. This film has a lot of themes that like yeah you can like we could talk
Yeah,
hours, we can hours
absolutely.
to like delve into.
Mm-hmm.
But end of the day, E.T. is one of the greatest films of all time. Like music score, like I'm repeating myself again, it is a really good
Mm-hmm.
movie.
It's
But
beautiful, beautifully done, the whole thing throughout. And it's 40. I still can't get over that. That movie is 40 years old and it's still amazing.
it's 4 years old. It's 40 years
Mm-hmm.
old. And again, the music was created by none other than else is John Williams.
Of course, he's brilliant.
Legend. Legend. That's a legend right there. Um. Now Dee Wallace as the mom. I love.
Like,
I mean, keep in mind she's a single mom and she's dealing with
yeah,
three children alone. So that's hard. Come on, that's hard.
it is, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there was a song that this qualifies for the '80s where parents just don't understand. I won't say who said it, given the current climate, but Elliot showcases how easy it is to fake your way out of school in the '80s. And again, so did Ferris Bueller. But she didn't really have a clue what was going on until we get closer towards the end of the movie, and ta-da, the government shows up.
That's funny. The fact that in the 80s no one knows what's going on, that's kind of true because like I can reflect back to my siblings, my parent, like my dad, my half siblings. My dad didn't know what they were doing. Like, okay, guys, let's come back home. Curfew. That's it. But he doesn't know what's going on in real life. I think I realized maybe in the night. That's when like, keep in mind, people that know people back in the according to my sister, people back then in the 80s. That's one of the rebellious phases of teenage life. I mean, they're like the 50s, 60s, but that was one of the earliest rebellious years. So yeah, I get right. Basically, she played a trope like the mom. Oh, I don't know anything.
I mean, she shows empathy towards the end, obviously, when she sees for herself that E.T. does exist, that the kids didn't make him up. But I don't know. Like, the household I grew up in was very strict. Like, everyone had to know what everyone was doing at all times. That would not have flown in my house. Not at all.
Oh, I forgot. There is a bad guy in this film. It's Peter Coyote's character. Yeah, Keys. I remember that. The government agent that wanted to capture E.T.
Well, yeah, and didn't he say at one point that he saw E.T. himself as a kid and he's been waiting for this moment since he was a little boy? He tells Elliot that. So it makes it clear, it establishes that E.T. has visited Earth before.
Oh, yeah.
That it's not the first time.
That is true. But the thing is that E.T. though? Or is that our species of E.T.?
And we don't know because that was never explained. But it leaves it open for interpretation.
Yeah, like was that ET though, or was it actually in our alien?
Please don't make a sequel. Please don't make a sequel. Please don't make a sequel. Leave it alone.
Sequel!
No, leave it alone. It's brilliant as it is. No.
Sequel.
No.
Universal.
No.
Get your nostalgia. Look at Top Gun Maverick.
Leave it alone.
Look at Top Gun Maverick. It's actually a better film than the actual original film. I watched it.
We haven't seen it yet, so
it's so good.
Heard lots of good things about it.
It's so good. It's better. It's better than the first film, and I love the first film. It's way better. Like, oh my god. So. Sequel.
Oh. Leave it alone.
Sequel. I want to see ET again. Come on, I want to see ET again.
Go to Universal Studios in Florida. We have the right.
I want to see ET again. Anyway. What else? Who else was good here? Let's talk about the siblings. Let's talk about Mike. Let's talk about Michael.
He had his funny moments in the movie.
Yeah.
But they were clueless too. And for obvious reasons, you're not going to believe a young child telling you, hey, guess what? There's an alien in my backyard. I found him. And I lured him in the house.
It's true. Keep in mind, back in the 80s, people will not believe anything. They'll think you're stupid, especially outcasts, right? Now it's like when you say something, oh, really? What? Where'd you hear that from? Oh, really? It's cool. But now, back then, it's like, oh,
Yeah, now people look up whatever you tell them in our phones. We have like all the information we could want right here.
See, that's why now when you say something, like oh crap, like it might exist, so I'll look at the phone.
Wikipedia. Oh, wait a minute.
Wikipedia, like Google, all that stuff, right? So now something that's stupid, people actually might believe it. See, but remember back then in the 80s, like what the hell? Let's see. I'm trying to think of what else. Like anything else you want to talk about a film that was prominent that with you?
Oh, I loved how they managed to take E.T. trick-or-treating for Halloween.
Oh, yeah,
this ties into the clueless parent trope. That they had no idea that E.T. was dressed as a ghost. They thought it was Drew Barrymore. And even when they posed for pictures, E.T. said thank you. The voices don't match. How do you
Thank you.
not question?
Thank you. Another thing about this movie too, the Halloween trope.
Mm-hmm.
Like every kids film, like legit. Honestly, so I watched WandaVision, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the Halloween scene, the Halloween episode in WandaVision, I'm like, this kind of looks similar to ET. Scene wise, like tropes wise, right?
Yeah.
Like honestly, looking back at ET, this film introduced a lot of tropes in modern cinema. Again, this is why it's considered one of the greatest films of all time because it introduces many tropes that we see now in movies,
Mm-hmm.
especially in 80 themes 80 themes project. Like look at Stranger Things. It's a lot of tropes in the 80s,
Oh
but
yeah.
done in a well written way.
Oh, absolutely.
What else? What else? What else to talk about it? Oh yeah. Um Now the bike scene. The bike scene. In the moon.
Oh
Magical.
my god.
When I first saw that. So for me with films, like if I for a film that will really caught my eye,
Mm-hmm.
like that's magical, I would remember those really well. And it is the moon scene. When I
Mm-hmm.
first saw, I was like, "Wow, this is magical." Cause game, I didn't watch it in theater. I was okay. I wasn't born yet, but my
Yeah,
uncle
same
did.
here.
My uncle did. He watched this when it was in theaters, and I talked to him about this, like because before, like legit before the stream, like I talked about ET because I was turning perspectives, like, "Hey, what was it like watching this in the big screen?" Like, oh, it was magical. Like he said this like honestly, Ryan, I know you guys have your Marvel movies and your high action movies back now with like Marvel, like, but back then watching a movie, it's still a cinematic experience, but watching those kind of movies back then was magical.
Mm-hmm.
Like they knew like the writing, that was like a movie experience for a movie, like real
Mm-hmm.
escapism, real storytelling. Not
Absolutely.
yeah. So I was like, okay. So yeah, and there was a ride that came out of this Acquisition Universe Studios, which was one of my favorites, but eh. Oh, another thing too was they introduced one of the most famous plants now used that made this plant famous, chrysanthemums. Remember the chrysanthemums?
Yes.
Legit, I swear to God, like, uh, like now I know why, because I have a friend.
Mm-hmm.
She actually has these kind of plants in her house, and then like now looking at it, me and then looking at it, her in her room there was an ET poster.
Oh.
So Chrysanthemums, I have a feeling that she might have been an ET fan. This was my friend in college, by the way. So shout out to you, Laura. Lauren.
Did you notice in the movie, like lawn care did not exist in these houses either? Like you look in the backyard.
I mean, they live in suburbia, right? Yeah. I did. Oh, what else? What else? What else? But honestly, yeah, yeah. You also have to go to themes about acceptance, right?
Mhm.
Like people, like, again, we're going outcast. ET, I think it's implied that ET was also an outcast with his own species. It
Mhm.
wasn't shown, but I think it's implied, right?
Yeah.
Like like the thing is, like, come on, like they even an alien, smart alien, they know it's like one of their kind is not back in their ship. It took it that long, like, oh, so it kind of maybe it shows implies like maybe he was an outcast from his own species, so that's why it's a good.
Mhm.
So this film's relatable, like two people with the same problems bonding and trying to grow up together as people, and so like ET learned more about Earth. Basically, each character grew to be more confident.
Mhm.
This is what I like about this film. Like Elliot became more sociable.
He
So,
did. And
yep.
he freed all the frogs out of the classroom.
Anyway, but
And
the
he copied that
ending.
movie with the kiss scene. That was hilarious. He stepped on top of the kid.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Memories. But also the ending scene where he touches the.
Mm-hmm. And he
Well,
goes
the
out.
ending. It's
Mm-hmm.
funny. So I think ET Professor Xavier, nine powers.
Oh.
Oh no! Oh, another thing about this movie too, telekinesis. Telekinesis was a big trope in the 80s. I
Oh yeah,
remember
there
that.
was the Firestarter movie that also had young Drew Barrymore in it. Also,
Yeah, like telekinesis. Like
mm-hmm.
Also a lot of films in the 80s dealt with a lot of films about like telekinesis. Like you
We also
had
had a
this.
lot of B-rated movies in the horror. I can't even say necessarily horror because they weren't that bad,
Yeah,
not
like look at
compared to the stuff that comes out now.
yeah, look
But
at Poltergeist.
sci-fi, yeah.
Yeah, look at Poltergeist. Like it's a psychological movie. Even if it's paranormal, like there's like mental telekinesis.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, a lot of films in the 80s. Oh, even Freddy Krueger, telekinesis.
Oh Lord.
Telekinesis. He used
Oh Lord.
telekinesis to kill. Stranger Things. Vecna. I'm just kidding.
If we're going to talk about Freddy Krueger, I have to get this story out. You guys, I swear on all that is holy. I swear on my father's grave. I swear on my cats, and I love them to death. When I was 8 years old, we were watching Nightmare on Elm Street for the first time, me and my cousin Teresa at my grandma's house. And my grandmother never bothered to learn English when she came over here from Puerto Rico. And the scene where Freddy comes out and you see like the big arms and they expand and he's chasing after Dina, my grandma didn't quite understand that Freddy Krueger is a bad guy and that he doesn't like kids and kills them in their sleep. Like that's his thing.
She understood.
But and back in the 80s and 90s, movies that were in English were badly dubbed over in another language. The mouth moved, nothing came out, and vice versa. My grandma ended up getting the mask, the hat, the sweater, the glove, and came out down the stairs from the second floor apartment in Bushwick, Brooklyn. I was like, "Is this that funny, right? That's funny, man." That, and I'm sitting there going, "Oh hell no!" At 8 years old. If you see Grandma put on the Freddy Krueger mask, I'm sorry. That's it. That's gonna kill it. I'm not scared of you. Mm-mm. Nope. Come here, my love. Okay.
Here's another thing too. This film also deals with, I say, loss too, like loss, and what's heartbreaking to me, even though technically it's a good ending, but to me it's bittersweet because Elliot never saw ET again. I was like,
Yeah.
ah, that hurts. I cannot watch that scene. Like the fact he leaves him to go home. Like crap.
Yeah. I cried every time that part comes up, whether I'm 7 or now at 38. I still cry.
Like
You
be
want him to
good.
stay.
I am right here. I was like, shit.
No, don't go.
It's like me. Like, oh, he's gonna die anyway. Like shit, he's going up to heaven. It's like fudge. No, stay on Earth.
And then
Stay
the
on
ship
Earth.
shoots off a rainbow at the end.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, God, this hurts. This hurts. I'm like, but again, make a sequel. I must see E.T. reunite with Elliot. I need to see it happen. I must see that happen. The commercial doesn't count.
I know. It's a nostalgia wave. They did what they could.
But again, E.T. phone home, like famous quotes. E.T. phone home. That
Mhm.
is one of one of the most iconic quotes in cinema. E.T. phone home. Luke, you're my father. Like E.T. phone home is still, like when you hear like phone home. Oh, E.T. It makes sense too. Phone home. I want to call home to make sure I'm safe. See the metaphor. Call your parents.
And there were so many parodies of it. There was Ross and Friends when he puts the siren under his shirt and goes, "E.T. phone home" in the police car. The Big Bang Theory mentions E.T. several times throughout the show's course also. Like, it stayed relevant throughout the years.
Exactly. Okay. Try to think. What else we can talk about this film? There's a lot to talk about this film. We kind of touched on all of them. I mean, there's not a lot of characters in this film, honestly. It's just like Elliot, his 2 siblings, his mom, Keys, the general. That's pretty much it. Yeah, I know there's not a lot of characters in this film.
That's Bella. I'm sorry.
He's like, I want me. I want to talk
wants
about
all the attention now.
I want to talk about now. I'm
She's my baby.
But anything else? Want to talk about anything else? That prominent to ET?
it's just a powerful movie that has stood the test of time, and it's going to continue to do so. Yes, future generations of kids get exposed to the movie. Some may not get it because of the generational differences, but it's still going to hold up pretty well over the next 20, 30, 40 years, no doubt.
Mm. Yeah, like, I mean, there's a reason why this film is always shown in Sci-Fi Channel.
Mm-hmm.
Always, always, always.
Alexa, turn the reminder off. Sorry.
Alexa, turn on phone home. Call
It's
space.
reminding me about this one.
Oh, okay, cool. But again, you know, one of my cinema's like most iconic movies. That's all I can say.
It stands right up there with The Wizard of Oz, Gone with the Wind, the original Star Wars movie. I mean, we can
Mm-hmm.
go on. 89 Batman with Michael Keaton.
Um, yeah, like those kind of movies. Those kind of movies, like
Mm-hmm.
oh, like Citizen Kane. Those, like the fact you're calling it one of the greatest movies. Like even cinema calls it one of the greatest movies of all time. I believe it.
Absolutely.
Like this movie, like influenced a lot of stuff, especially storytelling. Storytelling at its finest.
Absolutely. It's very thorough. It leaves very little for questioning, like, why didn't they talk about this? Why didn't they do this?
And it was marketed as a kids movie. A kids movie that dealt with mature themes.
You have to watch it like another few times to figure out the adult stuff, to be
Yeah,
fair.
like as a kid, I'm like, when I was watching this, I was like, this is kind of boring. But then now watching it again and again repeatedly, I'm like, oh crap, this is a great film. It's so relatable,
It is.
especially for outcasts. Let's see. Oh, and also you can say also Raise the Lost Ark.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's funny. I thought that this film. Well, I think my dad thought this film was basically a sequel to Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Remember that sci-fi film?
I do, but yeah, no sequel, no.
No. My dad thought that this was basically like connected to that film.
Jeez.
My dad thought, which was also directed by Steven Spielberg. Close Encounters.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Yeah.
also a really good film. This is also a really good film too. I highly recommend watching that film. It's really good too. But yeah. So that's pretty much it about the ET. Unless you're adding any more.
I think we covered it. I mean, if you haven't seen it, I'd say in the last couple of years, please watch it. Peacock has it.
Peacock
If
has
you have a
it.
subscription.
Yeah, Peacock has it. It's always in sci-fi. It's
Mm-hmm.
always in sci-fi. It's always. This year so the 40th anniversary was almost 40th anniversary. So right, it was 2017, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, oh shit, it's almost near its 50th.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting old.
Maybe you're getting old. I just get better.
Excuse me, princess. All right. All right. Cool. So, yep. E.T. guys, again, one of the greatest films of all time. Highly recommend it. It deals aliens, especially love E.T. You know, they like films like this. Go watch it.
Imagination. It ruled the
Imagination.
80s. That's a perfect example.
Imagination. Exactly. Let's look at the comments. Dropping by to show some love. Hello, Jason.
Hi.
Michael Brockton. E.T. Yeah, it is the best movie.
Yes, it is.
No, is it in my top 5? No. But it is in my top 15.
Yeah.
Because there's a film that did inspire me a lot. So, we haven't talked about it yet, but there is one.
What is it? What is it?
What is it?
Mm-hmm.
My favorite film of all time? Classic wise?
Mm-hmm.
Dun, 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 dun. That's waiting. We're waiting for. I'm waiting till October to talk about that. So Harry Potter, yeah. Like people have been messaging me like, "What are you doing Harry Potter?" Is like, I'm doing it till October
That's fair.
because that's the Harry Potter month already. October to December is Harry Potter season.
We can
So
talk about Harry Potter all day long. My goodness.
unless I can just talk about Harry Potter on July 31st because that's his birthday.
Ooh.
Oh, Potterhead! Potterhead is also J.K. Rowling's birthday too. July
All
31st.
right. I say let's do it.
When is 31st? Hold on. Let me see when is 31st. I actually might wear my robe.
Ooh.
I actually do have a Hogwarts robe, Gryffindor from Harry Potter Land. So that 31st is that's a Sunday.
Sounds
Let's
like
see,
a good day for a podcast.
let's see, guys. But guys, so again, this is the Buttery Show. E.T. Extra Terrestrial, one of the greatest films of all time. I'm repeating myself, but it is. That's why I'm saying it a lot. But
Yes, it
yeah,
is.
so before we go, Jacqueline, where can you find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Jacqueline Amira, all together. My shirt is made by Lucas. You can find him at Art of Lucas on Instagram. Also, he is a comic book artist.
Nice. You can find me Instagram, DancerBoy247, and follows me at the Morphin Network. You're into Power Rangers fans. Power Rangers fans, Power Rangers stuff. So, so yeah, guys. Thank you again so much. This is the Buttery Show. Tomorrow, my good friend Chocolate Thunder and we have a new member. His name is Daniel. We'll be talking about
We
Top
love new
Gun
members.
1. And
What are
then
we talking about?
my good friend Michael and his boy Daniel will be Chocolate Thunder will be talking about Top Gun 1. And then Friday, they'll
Ooh.
be discussing Top Gun Maverick. I won't be part of it. I'll just be watching. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then Saturday, I'll be uploading my vlog for OG Collectible Fest.
Mm-hmm.
And Sunday, let's see. Maybe we might do Jurassic Park. I don't know. Jurassic World Dominion. Let's see. I'm actually watching it. I'm watching it on maybe Friday. I don't know. And then Monday we're interviewing Dan Warren. You guys now he's a veteran voice actor. He was in Bleach, Robotech, and also
Mm-hmm.
he was a voice of Zenak in Power Rangers.
Cool. And wait a minute, wait a minute. Someone's got a date. Someone's got a date. Someone's got a date.
That's nothing happened. Anyway, it's a date with destiny.
Uh-huh.
Anyway,
Sure.
but anyway, guys, it's a date with destiny. Let's see. I don't know. But anyway, guys, this is the Buttery Show, and again, we're signing off, guys. Bye.
Hey, amazing. Have a good night.
Smile and wave, Jacqueline. Smile and wave. Smile and wave. Just kidding. Phone home. Phone home.
Crowd wave, individual.
All right, let's go to space. Let's go. We're going to space.
Let's get out of here.
Let's take your boo. Let's go to space right now. Let's go to the moon. Right? Moon sounds good.
Grab your bike. I'll meet you outside.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go to your bike.